In 1969, humanity landed a man on the moon. This absolutely crazy, previously unachievable task took thousands of PhDs, years of research, and trillions of dollars in combined effort. Not to mention absolute faith and belief in the fact that it would work. Now imagine you making $1 million, earning it while doing what you love and being happy, successful, and fulfilled. Is a life like this really that hard to achieve? Absolutely not. We landed a man on the moon, and you're trying to tell me that you can't make $1 million? Everything you've been taught is wrong.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Dan Vas, and I want to give you a warm welcome back to the How to Make Your First Million course. Now, we've come far along in the course. So far, we've studied all the most important success principles. We've studied some very life-changing things. I'm sure that now, since you've already watched a significant amount of lessons in this program here that I'm doing on YouTube, at this point, you're probably feeling a new excitement about life, and you are probably feeling that your life is changing every single day. Every single day, when you wake up in the morning, you have a spring in your step, and you know that the answer is out there, the answer that you've been looking for in figuring out what you're meant to be doing with your life, which would actually, involve what you're meant to be doing to make money. What's that freedom lifeline? Well, you're happy, you're doing what you love every single day, and you're making incredible amounts of money doing it. That's the entire point of this program. So if you noticed, and maybe you noticed, since the beginning of this program, most of the things that I covered was, they were like theoretical concepts. So in terms of success principles, we were building up the foundational base for success. At this point now, you have a very solid foundation where we can now actually dig deeper into the day-to-day activities you should be doing, the day-to-day practices you should be doing to make sure that you're well on your way to success and to your freedom lifeline. And so I'm happy to be sharing with you in this lesson here today all the daily activities, all the daily exercises that I've been doing in my own life and my own entrepreneurial journey since I started. And these are the things that I've learned along my journey. These are the things that I've learned by studying over 400 self-development books, by getting mentored by other great entrepreneurs who have generated 20 million, 30 million, 50 million plus in dollars online, and also being part of amazing masterminds. I've been, fortunate enough in the past few years of my entrepreneurial journey and career, I guess I should call it a career, but owning a multi-million-dollar company of 15 employees, helping thousands of people around the world start successful online businesses. I've been fortunate enough since I decided to become a lifelong learner, and I explained how important this is early on here in this How to Make Your First Million program. You must become a lifelong learner if you want to guarantee success for yourself. You want to secure success for yourself for the rest of your life. And so another thing that I've been doing is joining almost, I would call, elite masterminds, where it's basically the smartest guys and girls in my industry. And we meet before the whole pandemic situation. We used to meet in LA with this one mastermind that I was a part of, and the head guy, he had generated over, I think it was $50 or $60 million online in sales. So obviously, I am not the product of just myself. I'm the product of having amazing mentors, of seeking out knowledge, and most importantly, of seeking out the success mindset, seeking out the truth. What is the truth about life? What is the truth about success? And how can I find that information? Because the information is already all out there. Everything is out there for you. And that's the beautiful part about the internet today. As the world plunges into this massive, massive economic crisis and depression right now, as I'm making this video, people are just, there's blood running in the streets, right? People are losing their livelihoods, they're losing their jobs, they're getting into debt, they're unable to pay their bills, and they're basically seeing their entire livelihoods flashing right in front of their eyes. Millions of people around the world who believed that success was secured for them, that a life of comfort and stability was basically how it was going to be for the rest of their lives. Just go to your 9-to-5 job, wake up in the morning, at 6 a.m., sit in traffic, go to your job, listen to your boss, get promoted every few years, and all is good, all is well. Go on your yearly vacation to like a Super 8 motel or to Disney World, Disneyland if you have kids, right? So this entire way of existence just evaporated, right now as we're speaking, because the world is just, we've never seen what's going on in the world ever. What's going on today is a first. And one thing I've learned is that the future is usually never a simple continuation of past events. It's not, right? There are massive events that happen, just like what we've been seeing in the past year, the past few years. And so that's why it is so, so important to place all the odds of success on your side. And the best way of doing that is by learning from the best, learning the success principles, which is exactly what you've been doing here in this free course that I've been doing on YouTube, right? And this is literally from the bottom of my heart. I could have easily charged $500 or $1,000 for this, but then only 500 people or 1,000 people who would have bought the course would have actually joined, and they would have gotten the information. I want millions of people around the world to see this because, there are so many people out there, in America, in Canada, and not even just in the West, but in the East as well. People on the rise, people that are going to do amazing things in their lives. But having these success principles, having this transformational system at an early age is just, it's life-changing. It's like saving lifetimes and thousands, potentially even hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars in mistakes and bad decisions. I want to remind you that if you haven't watched any of the previous lessons here in the How to Make Your First Million program, make sure that you start from lesson number 1, because the way that I organize this course is so that layer by layer, we are kind of diving deeper and deeper into the success mindset, the success principles you need to learn so that you can achieve your freedom lifeline, so that you can achieve a life where you're doing what you love, you're making a tremendous amount of money, you have amazing relationships, you have love in your life, and you are overall happy and fulfilled, and you know that you're doing what you're meant to be doing, and it perfectly matches up with your personal destiny. There's going to be a playlist for this program here for the How to Make Your First Million course. You're going to be able to see all the other lessons that I did, and you can start off from lesson number 1 and then make sure that you're watching 1 lesson per day, no more than that, or else it's just going to be way too much information and your brain is just going to be overloaded. The best way to rewire your brain is to take in 1 video at a time, and I really put a lot of thought into this. Believe me, this was like thousands of hours worth of work. Now let's talk about success. And success means showing up every single day. And if you want success, if you want the good life, that involves showing up every single day for the rest of your life. Let me give you an example, okay? So at the age of, I think I was 18, I was tired of being skinny. I was like this really tall, lanky, wobbly, kid who wasn't very athletic. And I remember the first time that I tried doing the bench press, I literally tried the empty bar. I could do 1 or 2 reps without a spotter. And the next day, I woke up and I never felt that feeling in my life. My arms were literally stuck like this for a week. I'm not even kidding. That's how bad it was. And so that made me realize that, okay, I need to make a change. And at the age of 18, I started going to the gym and I started learning about how to transform my physique. Up until that point, I just kind of believed that I wasn't athletic. I wasn't an athletic kid, and that, it was kind of like the concept of learned helplessness that I talked about in one of the previous lessons, right? I was almost like that monkey in a cage who, no matter what I tried, no matter what I did, I kind of resorted to this conclusion that I was destined to be like this lanky, weak, just awkward physique kid, like really, like a squid physique, it's like really not nice. So, then I started going to the gym, and that's when I learned that, hey, I could actually transform my physique. And, how do I do that? And so that's when I learned that, okay, I actually have to show up to the gym. I have to find a workout routine for beginners, and I have to show up to the gym. And I have to go, at the time, I got into a workout routine that was 4 times a week. I found one online, and I followed that religiously. I followed it, and ever since then, I've been lifting, and, I've had an amazing physique, and right now, I'm literally in the best shape of my life. So at that early age of 18, and this newfound love for fitness and for going to the gym, that taught me a big part of the success mindset just by itself. And the biggest concept that it taught me was, okay, if you want success, you're gonna have to show up to the gym every single day. At the time, I wasn't even thinking long term. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym, and in a year, 2 years, with eating healthy, and I started tracking my macros and everything like that as well, so my calories. I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna track my diet, and I'm gonna make sure that my nutrition and my working out is on point. And then in a year, I'm gonna look back and see how I am. And I wasn't really thinking about 3, 4, 5 years after that. I just knew that in the next few years, I would have an absolutely amazing physique. And I did, and I achieved that. And I started noticing when my friends were giving me, they were just like, whoa, Dan, you're getting big. And then they would I remember this was in high school. I had some girls coming up to me and feel my arms. And obviously for an 18-year-old, basically kid, I guess you're an adult at 18, but basically kid, I was on top of the world. And that gave me my first positive feedback. It's called a positive feedback loop. It's so important to success to, really stick it out until you start getting positive feedback for what you're doing. Whether it's people are noticing your success. When it comes to fitness, people were noticing that I was getting in a better physique and that I was really changing how I looked and I was getting stronger, right? So a year, 2 years passed by and I got into this incredible physique. But then I realized, wait a second, I can't just maintain my physique. I tried maintaining for a few months and I was miserable. The funny part was that I was eating at maintenance calories, right? So, when you're eating, you can either eat under your maintenance calories, you can eat at your maintenance calories, or you can eat over your maintenance calories. And obviously, depending on what you do, you're gonna gain, lose, or maintain your weight. Well, I was maintaining for a month, 2 months, 3 months. And I remember that my weight to the gym were actually going down. They weren't staying the same. And that's when I realized that in life, you're either going up or you're going down. There's no in between at all. And if you're not consciously going up, you are definitely going down. And the same thing applies to fitness, health, money, especially money. Most people who are not conscious about their bank accounts, who don't really care about making money, and who don't really understand that, hey, if you go to the grocery store and you want to buy a loaf of bread, you're going to need to come up with the money to buy it, because they just won't give you a loaf of bread. The world isn't unicorns and rainbows where they're going to give you bread for free, right? So in life, you're either going up or you're going down, no in between. And so basically since then, I've been working out. I've been tracking my diet. I've been, on and off, especially, with external events, like the gyms were closed at one point, and now I'm in a place where they're open again, and I really prioritize it in my life. Like, it's huge. The mental well-being I get and the mental strength that I get, not just the physical strength of getting stronger, getting into a better shape, and improving myself, like physically, because you see it in the mirror, right? That's huge. It's been huge for me. So I've really prioritized fitness and working out in my life, and I will be making a lot of fitness-related content in the future. But how that plays into this is that, I can never stop lifting. I can never stop going to the gym. I can never stop lifting weights. I'm just going to do it for the rest of my life. Why? Because first of all, I trained myself to do it at a young age. And second of all, it's not like I just, I just go for like a year, 2 years, 3 years, and then I get into this absolutely incredible physique. And then I'm just like, okay, I'm good now. I like my physique. I'm just going to stop working out. I've reached my goal. And it's the exact same thing with money. Right? A lot of people, they think, okay, I'm just going to grind for like a year, 2 years, and then I'm going to become a millionaire, and then that's it. I can just chill. And theoretically, yes, you can. But, we've all heard of the stories of lottery winners who have made millions. And I mean, they just blow right through the millions in like months or in years, right? Just in a year, 2 years, right? You type in like lottery winners before and then after they actually have spent the money, and they're back to being broke. Some are back literally like to homelessness, right? And the reason for that is because they don't understand that in life, you have to put in the work every single day. And where that brings us to is, in this lesson, I'm going to share with you the daily exercises and activities that I do to make sure that not only am I maintaining my success that I made, but most importantly, that I'm growing my success, that I'm pushing the limits, and not only just with money and with financial things, like with my company and things like that, with business, but also in other areas of my life as well. So when it comes to things that I do on a daily basis, I can basically split this into 4 different categories, okay? The first one is my daily goals and visualization. That is by far the most important practice that I've been doing every single day for the past probably 4 years now. And I'm going to share my exact daily goal and visualization routine with you here in this video. So I'm super excited about that, because every single person that I've shared this with, and obviously it's up to you to actually take action. Some people, they decide not to. They decide that it's a complete waste of time. And that's the exact same attitude that they have towards the success mindset, towards improving themselves. They think it's a waste of time, and they just become like the monkey in a cage in the zoo. They just get this learned helplessness, and they just kind of give up. They throw their hands in the air. They surrender, and they just say, that's it. I'm just destined to be what I am. I'm destined for the classic 9 to 5, and I guess I'm just destined to be broke and miserable, right? So obviously you're not that person if you're watching this video. I genuinely hope that you're not. I want you to be one of those people that messages me in 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, maybe 5 years, right? I want you to message me, and I want you to tell me how much this course changed your life. Maybe you've made your first 6 figures. Maybe you've made your first 7 figures. Maybe you've started that successful online business you've always wanted to start, or just any business. And this sets you on the right path where you are living your dream life on your Freedom Lifeline, and everything feels amazing because everything's aligned in your life. So that's the first category of daily practice, and that's my daily goals and visualization. My second category of daily practice, or I guess like daily exercise that I do, is planning. And so what I mean by planning is planning out what I'm working on tomorrow. And that brings us to this exercise called Planning Tomorrow Today, which is something that I do every single day. Before bed, I have about 30 minutes where I sit down and have a notebook, and I'm looking at the notebook right now. I'll show you what it looks like. I sit down and then I plan out the projects that I'm going to work on the next day, the work that I'm going to do. Because if I don't do this, I'm just like running around. I'm literally running around like a chicken with its head cut off. I mean, I'm just like, wasting time, and I'm just pacing around, not really knowing what to do. So that's the second category of daily practices that has really helped me, and that will help you for sure, especially the planning one, because for me, time management is not my forte, and for you, Like if time management is not such a good, powerful trait for you either, then this will be insanely powerful for you. The third type of daily practice that I do is fitness, health, and gym. So that involves everything to do with getting stronger, getting to better shape, improving my health, tracking my macro supplementation. So I'm going to talk about that as well and how that goes into my day-to-day, because it's a huge part of my life. And if you want success on your Freedom Lifeline, I believe that no one is fat and obese on their Freedom Lifeline, okay? Because you don't have so much freedom when you're obese, when you can't even get off the couch without having a heart attack. Obviously, that's not, if you're making 6 figures or 7 figures and you're stuck to the couch, your Freedom Lifeline doesn't have a lot of freedom in it. So, like I said, nobody on their Freedom Lifeline is obese or overweight or unhealthy. So I'm going to talk about that as well, because when you're on your Freedom Lifeline, you're also fit, you're in great shape, and you're actually improving your physique every single day. Okay, that's the third category. And finally, the last category, this is the self-education category. This is one of the most important ones. And this involves my daily reading practice. So how I'm learning new things every single day, what books I'm reading, how I'm reading the books. I'm going to share with you my exact methodology to reading new books to make sure that I actually retain the information so that, no matter where I am in the world, I can actually pull up the notes from the book and I can actually, kind of refresh my memory. So let's begin with the daily goals and visualization routine. And this is so powerful. I mean, this is almost spiritual, and you'll see why, because it's not just mindlessly writing down your goals, right? It's really like you are fully combining your soul, and you're placing your soul on your Freedom Lifeline as if you are living it right now in this moment. That's why it's so powerful. So I'm going to share with you exactly how I do this. So we'll start off with your 2-year vision. So if you went through this course step by step, lesson by lesson, so if you watched 1 lesson per day, then you should have a 2-year vision right now. So you know exactly where you're going in your life, you have a destination, and you've decided your end goal for the next 2 years, okay? So you want to take your 2-year vision right now. This is hugely important. You really need to do this for your goals and visualization exercise. If you don't have your 2-year vision, make sure that you go to one of the previous lessons where I actually showed you how to set your destination for your life and how to know exactly what your 2-year vision should be. Okay, so once you have your 2-year vision, if you have it, now we're ready to move on to the actual daily goals and visualization exercise. Okay, so how this works is you're basically going to need a notebook just like this. This is a Moleskine Notebook, but it doesn't have to be any special notebook, right? I got this off Amazon. I'm going to put a link for it down below. If you're from the States or from Canada, you can get it there. To be honest, this is actually my Plan Tomorrow Today notebook. So this is not the notebook that I use to write down my daily goals. This is too small. I prefer like a notebook that is about this size. I just don't have it here with me right now. So you want a notebook that you'll actually enjoy writing in. If you buy some cheap dollar store notebook, you're not going to want to write in it because, by the time you write like 10 days of your goals, the notebook will just be in pieces. The paper will literally be flying out of the notebook, and you're just going to hate your life when you're writing down the goals and visualization. So spend money on a nice notebook. This is a Moleskine, and it cost me, I think, $10 or $20, right? And some might say, well, for a notebook, that's ridiculous. Well, are your dreams worth $10 or $20? That's a question that you have to ask yourself. So definitely for me, they're worth a lot more than $10 or $20. So there you go. You need a nice notebook, and you also need a pen, and make sure that your pen is not some cheap dollar store pen either. This is just some random pen I bought here in Norway, but I'll put a link down below for some nice pens that I've used in the past that I know are really, really good. And you want to make sure that when you're actually writing down your goals, that it feels nice to write them down. I prefer using a pen for this and not a pencil because I feel like writing with the pen, it's more permanent, right? A pencil, you can just erase everything, right? And a pencil is great for planning, but not for writing down your goals because you want to write down your goals in permanence. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at your 2-year vision, and you want to create goals that take you to that 2-year vision basically by default, right? So kind of like on autopilot. If you accomplish those goals, then you will also in turn accomplish that vision. Like that's what your life's gonna be like in 2 years. And also, when you're writing down your goals, you need to make sure that you are writing them down as if you've already accomplished them in the present moment. Like you already accomplished them, and you're living the life that you would be living with those goals accomplished. So instead of writing, I will make $1 million or I will make $100,000, for example, you want to write, I am so happy now that I have $1 million in my bank account. That's what you have to write. Because, and the reason for the happy part is the best way to basically accelerate the manifestation process, and I love calling it this, the manifestation, because This actually got really popular on TikTok, I think, recently. This whole manifesting law of attraction. Basically, what you're doing is you're following an exercise from the book called The Secret by Rhonda Burns. Incredible book. I really recommend reading it. I read that early on in my entrepreneurial journey. There's going to be a link down below, just like for any of the other books that I've recommended. And remember, you're not going to say that you regretted spending money on books when you're on your deathbed. So don't be cheap. Don't be lazy. Buy the book, because, like I said, you're spending your time watching this right now. Your time is more important than money. And this is something that rich people and successful people understand, that time is much more important than money, because money is a renewable resource, but time, everybody has a finite amount of time, and you don't know how much time you actually have until your death. No one knows, right? The only thing we can do is do our best and show up every single day and enjoy our life in the moment, but also work hard towards our future. So on the topic of manifestation, so what I mean by manifesting your goals is what you're doing right now is you are basically following the law of attraction, which essentially goes like this, that your life is essentially your thoughts, so you get what you think about. So by writing these things down in our notebook, by writing our goals every single day in our goals notebook, we are putting these thoughts, we're implanting these thoughts in our mind. And since our life, our future becomes our present thoughts, well, obviously that's where we're going. Now, the fastest way, the most powerful thing that you can do to actually ensure that your goals are achieved is to attach your goals to the positive emotion that you'd be feeling as if you already accomplished them. So for example, the first goal that you can write, and let's say that on your 2-year vision it says that you are a successful entrepreneur or internet entrepreneur and you own an online business, just as an example, right? That's going to be many of you, because my channel is about online business, entrepreneurship, not only about that, but about achieving the good life. I genuinely believe that the best way to do that is by becoming an entrepreneur and doing it through online business in any niche, just as long as you are an entrepreneur and doing it through the internet. So if we're going to use that as an example of what you have in your vision, the goal that you're going to write is, I'm so happy now that I am a successful internet entrepreneur living a life of happiness, fulfillment, wealth, and location independence, right? And the reason why we're writing like happiness, fulfillment, wealth, and location independence, you really want to paint the picture of you having already accomplished this goal and what it looks like. Because if I just wrote down, I'm so happy now that I'm a successful internet entrepreneur, you can, but it's not as powerful as describing it. At the same time, you don't need to go and stretch out, the sentence into like a huge run-on sentence where it's like a paragraph. You don't have to do that, because it's just going to be annoying as heck to write every single day. So that would be the first goal that you can write down for your goals notebook. And remember, whatever you write down, you're actually going to be writing all these goals down every single morning for the rest of your life. This is what we're actually doing right now. And it sounds like a lot, sounds like a big task, but believe me, it's huge. I mean, imagine, it's like having a wish list, having a Christmas list that you can literally write down anything you want and you'll get it as long as you keep writing it in this notebook. Why? Because the process of writing down your goals and attaching emotion to it and writing it down as if you've accomplished it in the present, it will push your subconscious mind, it will almost fool your subconscious mind into making you take the actions necessary to achieve those goals. And as I said previously, the how are you going to get to these goals? The how is not as important as the what, nowhere near as important as the what. So as long as you set the goals and you apply the emotion and you write, I'm so happy now that I'm a successful internet entrepreneur, for example, living a life of happiness, fulfillment, wealth, and location independence, that's an effective goal and it will happen for you. So let's say on your 2-year vision, let's say that you wrote down that in 2 years, you will have a successful online business making $10,000 per month, which is $120,000 per year. So what you would write down on your daily goals is, after that first goal that you wrote down, you'd write down, I am so happy now that I'm making $10,000 per month from my business. Okay? So, nothing crazy, nothing super special, but I'm so happy now that I'm making 10K a month from my business. And then obviously once you achieve that, then you'll be able to increase that goal. And that's the whole point. You're not going to keep writing the same goals for the rest of your life, because the point is to achieve them, and you're always going to achieve them much faster than you think. Believe me, I've achieved all my goals much faster than I even thought. Some took some time, and that required patience. But at the same time, the fact that those goals did take time, it was a blessing in disguise for me, because if I achieved those goals right away, it would have just been too chaotic. I would have not known what to do and how to properly deal with the accomplishment of those goals at the time. Okay. So another thing you can write down is the amount of money you want in your bank account. I think that every single person should write down an amount that they want as a goal in their bank. So for example, I'll write down, I'm so happy now that I have $100,000 US in my bank account. You want to make sure it's you precisely say the currency. You don't just put 100,000 because that could be United States dollars or Canadian dollars, which is worth less than the United States dollar at this moment. Could be Australian dollars. Could be Mexican pesos, right? Could be euros. So make sure that you're specific with the things that you're writing down in there, and also make sure that you're not writing any conflicting goals. So if you write down, I'm so happy now that I'm making $10,000 per month for my business, but then you write down, I'm so happy now that I have 10 million in my bank account. Well, if you're making 10K a month, the only way to have the 10 million in your account, and by making only 10K a month, someone would either have to give it to you or you'd have to win the lottery. And I'm not sure that this is so effective at making you win the lottery. I can't make a guarantee about that. This is more about making your actual goals that are you're supposed to go after, that are like in sync with your lifeline, with your freedom lifeline. That's what this is all about. Not about making unrealistic crazy things come true. Like if I write down, I'm so happy now that I'm visiting Mars this year, it's not going to happen. No one's been to Mars, right? So you got to be realistic but optimistic as well. So another goal that actually I wrote down when I first wrote down my goals was, because I grew up in Toronto in Canada. It's a very cold city, and the weather becomes miserable at around I would say October, November, and it lasts up until April. And so I didn't want to live in that miserable weather anymore. And when I had started my online business, I set myself the goal of moving that winter to the United States, to a warmer place. And I was thinking about moving to Florida or California or Arizona. I actually decided on Arizona because it was the cheapest place to move to, and also the most enticing, I guess, the most fun for me, because I love the fact that it was the desert, and it was just like this completely new thing for me. I've never lived in the desert before, and it really inspired me. Even though I've never been to Arizona before that, I just read about it in books. There was this one book that really, really inspired me along my journey. It was called The Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco. And in that book, he basically talked about his own journey and how he went from a completely broke limo cab driver with two degrees. He had a marketing degree and an accounting degree from the University of somewhere in Illinois. I think it was somewhere in Chicago. And he went from a broke cab driver who almost froze to death because his limo broke down one night. I think it was New Year's or something. He talks about it in the book. And he said, that's it. This is fucked up. I've had enough. I am going to do whatever it takes to get rich, to get onto my freedom lifeline, to be successful. So in the book, he talks about how at that moment he started to do research. He got onto his journey. He got onto his freedom lifeline, or on the journey towards achieving his freedom lifeline. And as he continued along that journey, it pulled him to go to Arizona. And he talks about how he moved there and how it just was paradise. I mean, the way that he described it, just palm trees and warmth and the sunsets, super beautiful, purple skies every single night, which, by the way, Arizona does have purple sky sunsets every single night, right? Believe it or not, it's amazing. I hope that it stays amazing. But yeah, so that he talked about that, and that really inspired me. Millionaire Fastlane. I'll put the link below. I think that every single one of you should read it as well, even if you don't want to make $1 million, which you should if you're watching this, because on your freedom lifeline, that's where you'll actually be able to make $1 million doing what you love, and it will not feel like work. It will feel like you're just following your life mission, your life purpose, and you're happy because you're helping people through that as well, through the business that you're running. So I wrote this goal down. I'm so happy now that I am living in my dream apartment in Scottsdale, Arizona, with a beautiful, stunning mountain view. And for me, the mountain view I really wanted because I knew that I could get an apartment with a mountain view down there. And so that's what I wrote down. And that same winter, I wrote this down in, I think it was April or May of 2017. And that same winter, I guess it was October or November of 2017, I'd already had my e-commerce business running and everything was going well. I remember I just went to the gym in Canada, in Toronto, and then I left the gym. I was walking outside of the gym in my shorts because I'm just like, I never change. I just kind of put on my gym stuff. I drive to the gym, work out, and then I'm out of the gym, and I just literally walk around in shorts, even if it's minus 10, minus 20 degrees Celsius outside. That's just how I am. And so I walked out of the gym, and it was freezing. I mean, it was terrible weather. It was absolutely disgusting weather. It was raining. It was icy, and this was already the end of October, beginning of November. So I was like, okay, this sucks. I'm gone. And so that same night, I started packing my car, my Volkswagen Jetta, and I told my mom, I told my parents that, hey, I'm leaving. I'm driving to Arizona. Now's the time. I had already been writing down this goal of the dream apartment in Arizona for a long time. And they were fully supportive, right? Of course, for your mom, it's difficult to accept that, but she accepted it, and then she supported me. And the next day in the morning, I woke up and I left, and I drove down into the States. 5 days later, down Route 66. That's what the road is from Toronto, because you hit Chicago and you go down the famous Route 66. That was my great adventure. And I went like literally full send to Arizona. I got to Arizona. I remember that I got out of my car, and by the way, I spent like 3 summers just driving around the States and Canada, sleeping in my car, seeing national parks. That really inspired me to pursue the freedom lifestyle. Little did I know, I was already on my freedom lifeline, by the way, and that's why I was able to achieve my freedom lifeline so early. But as I drove down into the valley, and I'm talking about the valley in Phoenix, I don't know what it's called, I think the Phoenix Valley, right? You kind of dip down, and the temperature really starts to go up as you drive down into Phoenix, into Scottsdale. It was already nighttime. It was like 8 o'clock in the evening, 8 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. And I remember as I was driving down into the valley, and I was still outside of town, I could see like the city lights down there. It was 8:30 about, and it was getting warmer, and I only had about 30 minutes left of driving. So I was like 30 minutes of driving down to the city. I got out of my car to take a piss, and I look up, and there's this huge cactus in front of me. I was shocked. I'm like, wow, this is like, I've never seen this before. The cactus was literally 3 times my size, and I'm 6'2". So that was my first, I guess, like sign of like, hey, you've made it. You're on your way. You're moving here, and you're gonna live here. It's awesome. So then I got back in my car. I got into town. I stayed in Airbnb that night. I woke up and I was in paradise. I was like palm trees. It was super warm. It was like 28 degrees in November, and it was just amazing. And so I remember that week I started apartment hunting. I tried some apartments. I didn't really feel good about it. And then I found the one that my gut really told me, like, yes, you should get it. You should get it. Even though it was quite expensive, it was like $2.1K a month, which for Phoenix, that's kind of a lot. It's kind of a lot at the time. I think not anymore. At the time, rents were cheaper. So I moved into it, but I had faith. That I was following my freedom lifeline. I'm exactly on my lifeline. I'm following my personal destiny, just like The Alchemist. This is my personal legend. So I moved in, I signed the lease, and boom, I had accomplished the goal. So that's just one example. I kind of went on this tangent, like story time. I like story time. I have a lot of amazing stories to tell. That's where you're going to get as well when you're on your freedom lifeline. But that's just proof that if you write something down every single day and you put emotion into it and you follow this properly, you will achieve every single thing that I wrote down in my goals. I achieved. And so today, the goals that I'm writing down are massive. They're huge. And, I am looking forward to accomplishing them. At the same time, I'm not rushing it because, like I said, you can't chase things. We learned this. Whatever you chase just kind of runs away from you, right? Whether it's money, whether it's women if you're a man, or men if you're a woman, right? So don't chase. Just follow this exercise. Calmly go after what you want. Also understand that life is pretty short, so time is ticking every single day. So you really have to go after your goals. But at the same time, don't put too much importance on it. Just understand and believe that success is coming for you. It already exists, and you're just forcing time to catch up. That's it. Now, something else that you can write down your goals is a health goal. And so I'll give you an example. So one of my goals right now that I write down every single day, and I'll say it, I am so happy now that I'm in the best shape of my life, like a Spartan warrior statue. By the way, you have to paint the goal. You really have to paint it in your mind. If you just write, I'm in the best shape of my life, what does that look like? The best shape to someone could be like Jonah Hill, right, from those movies that he makes, right? That's, I don't know. I think he's fit now. I love you, Jonah Hill, if you're watching. But you really have to be specific, okay? So I'm so happy now that I'm in the best shape of my life, like a Spartan warrior statue, fit, lean, and strong, with 3D shoulders, a wide back, a strong plate body like chest, and you can keep going and going. So that is what a proper goal is like when it comes to fitness, when it comes to health. And you should also do the same thing for all your other goals. You should really describe it in vivid detail, because then it makes it so much easier to attach emotion to it, and it will also give you a target to go after. Another goal that you can write down: I'm so happy now that I have incredible friends and relationships in my life, which is super, super important, of course. You want to make sure that you're not just writing money stuff down, because money will not bring you happiness. Your freedom lifeline will bring you happiness. If you have $1 million but you hate your life, you're just going to sit in your room and you're going to be super depressed. Basically, that's what's going to happen, because no one's going to want to hang out with you, and everyone's just going to think you're just like a rich loner. basically. So another goal that you can write down is, I am so happy now that I am in an amazing relationship with my soulmate and we are happy together. So this would be a relationship goal. If you're looking for, you want to find your soulmate and you want to find your life partner, you want to find, a great guy, a great girl, a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. So you can write that down, and I guarantee you it will work for sure, because I can tell you from personal experience, and I've seen this work for people. The law of attraction doesn't only work for money, it also works for attracting, someone from the opposite sex, attracting your life partner, attracting an amazing person into your life. So that's also super powerful. So now once you've got your goals written down, and I recommend about, at least a full page of goals, okay? For me, my goals are like about, I think, a page and a half about. At certain points, it was 2 pages, and then it just took a long time to write them. It's not going to be fast for you to write them. The whole point is that it will take you some time to write this in the morning. For me, my goals and visualization routine every single morning takes about 20 to 30 minutes. And you might think, well, if I use that 20 to 30 minutes on my business or on my, I can go to the gym earlier, on my physique, right? Then I would be so far ahead. No, that's not how it works, because you know how powerful this is. That 20 minutes that you put into this every single morning is going to pay such huge dividends in your life that it's hard to even grasp how powerful this is before you've had the goals that you've written down actually manifested in your life. And because all my goals have manifested, I'm going to keep doing this forever. Or else the price of not doing it is just too great. So once you've written down your goals, now you know the exact goals you're going to be writing down. What you want to do after writing down your goals, and I do this every single time, is this is where you will visualize. And what I mean by visualize is you're going to look at your goals and you're going to imagine as if you are living your life with those goals accomplished right now. You're going to close your eyes and you're going to play amazing music. And by the way, if you're interested, I got an amazing visualization playlist. I've got a bunch of I call them freedom playlists for different genres on my Spotify. So you can go and grab that below. I'll link my playlist too. Maybe you like it, maybe you won't. Leave me a comment if you enjoy it. Yeah, so there you go, visualization playlist. Listen to some amazing, inspiring music. Whatever inspires you. When I was first writing down my goals, I was listening to a lot of classic rock. I'm a huge lover of classic rock. I love every single genre of music. Depending on the mood. When I'm at the gym, I listen to rap, hip hop, heavy metal, rock. But when it comes to goals and stuff like that, I love classic rock. There's just a lot of emotion in it. And so yeah, just listen to music, attach emotion into it, feel it. And this is gonna sound weird, but when you do this properly, you will want to cry. And it's not crying from sadness, it's crying from joy. And the best emotion that you can attach with your goals is this joy. And the reason why you will see what I mean. The reason why you will cry sometimes is because basically crying is like a way for your body to process too much emotion at one moment. And so because for me, when I was writing down all those goals at the beginning, I was so shocked that I could actually achieve everything that I wrote down. I was so shocked that this was actually possible, that it was possible to not be broke and not be lost and not be stuck in debt and live a happy life of abundance and fulfillment. And I could do it myself. I could do it just by studying all the things I've been talking about here in this course. For me, that brought me to tears literally every time. So once you've written down your goals, when you're visualizing, and you want to visualize for at least, I would say 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, and you're visualizing your life, go goal by goal, and then close your eyes, and picture as if your life is already accomplished with those goals. For me, I was playing music and the emotions I was feeling, even the Mountain View apartment in Scottsdale, I saw it in my mind before I saw it in my eyes, literally exactly to the T. I saw the Mountain View before I saw it with my eyes. I've never even been there. And funnily enough, when I actually got to Arizona, the apartment that I ended up living in, the Mountain View was almost identical to what I saw in my mind, which is absolutely crazy. So, if you cry when you are visualizing your life, this is a good sign, because that means that you are going after your freedom lifeline, and it's the best way of attaching emotion to what you want. To put it very simply, if you combine emotions with your vision, that is going to allow your vision to realize and come to life and manifest. So that is my daily goal and visualization routine. It is so incredibly powerful, and I'm so excited for you to write to me and tell me how much this is changing your life. Write to me. Leave a comment down below. You can come back to this video. You can come back to this lesson. You can also send me a message on Instagram. You can give me a follow. Send me a DM. and I'll answer you. I'm always answering my DMs. I love communicating with people because, like I said, I am trying to build the number one movement of freedom and success around the world through these principles that have helped me so much in my life and that I know can help so many other people around the world, millions and millions of people. So if this is changing your life, make sure you write to me, send me a message on Instagram, and I'll be happy to hear it. So when do I actually do this goal and visualization routine? I do it, what my usual routine in the morning is, I wake up and then I eat breakfast right away just because I'm a person who needs breakfast. I tried fasting and not a fan of that, just because I need to be in my optimal athletic performance when I'm going to the gym. I go to the gym in the morning. I wake up at 4 or 5 a.m. And as the famous saying goes, first things first. I love that. So I wake up at 4 to 5. And this is not always, I'm not a perfect human being. I am a human. So sometimes if I need more sleep, and I always prioritize sleep at least 7 hours a night, preferably 7.5, 8. I operate best on 7.5. And you have to find what you kind of function best at. We're all different. Just because someone said, humans need 8 hours, doesn't mean that you need 8 hours, okay? Like there are people that can operate on 4 hours of sleep very, very well. I'm just not that person. So I wake up, I make breakfast, I eat the breakfast, and then right after I eat breakfast, I actually write down my goals and then I do my visualization. And then after that, I go to the gym, or if I'm not going to the gym, then I just take a shower and then I start working. I start my day. So that is my usual routine. Now, you might be asking, and this is something that happens often just because life gets in the way, right? Especially, when you travel, and I've done a lot of traveling, so that when you're traveling, it's harder to have a morning routine, like a regular routine. You might be wondering, okay, but what if I miss a day or 2 days, Dan? Like, is that fine? And yes, we're all, we're humans as far as I know. Everyone who's watching this is a human. So it's okay to miss a day or two. It's fine. Just don't make it a habit. If you noticed, I had mentioned to do it with a pen and a paper. And, some of you might be asking me, is it okay to write down my goals on my phone using an app like Evernote, which is an app that I absolutely love. I'll put the link down below as well because I would say it's literally part of the essential internet entrepreneur's toolkit, or any person's toolkit. It's so useful. So I recommend writing down your goals and doing this visualization routine by writing your goals down with a pen and a paper, because there's something real about that. And I've realized there were times when my goals weren't realizing as fast as other times, and then I noticed that those times when they weren't coming true as fast as the other times was when I was actually getting lazy and I was writing down my goals on my phone in Evernote, right? And so when I switched back to using a pen and a paper and a real notebook, my goals were actually coming true faster. I don't know the science or the power behind that, or the energy or whatever, like I'm not sure, but that's just what I've noticed in my own life. So that's why I recommend pen and paper. And there's something about sitting down, and if you want to make it nice, light a candle or something, sit down, write down your goals, put on some nice music. You can find my my playlist down below that I use for this, my Freedom Visualization Goal Writing playlist. And yeah, just enjoy it. Make it an enjoyable part of your day. Most people, they wake up and right away, they're running around in their life like chickens with their heads cut off because they got an alarm. They have to do shit that they don't want to do. They have to go to a job that they hate, right? This is garbage. This is not a nice life, right? So you wake up, you do this, it's gonna change your life. And if you can't do it, if you're traveling or you just don't have your goals notebook with you, which is fine, at least do it on your phone. And for that, Evernote is fine. Like for example, if I have to catch an early morning flight and I woke up just before having to go to the airport, I'll be on the plane, or I'll be sitting at the airport whenever I have any downtime, basically when I'm not doing anything and I don't have the notebook with me and it's not too convenient to like take out the whole notebook and the pen. I'll open up my Evernote and then I have like a note with my goals in there. And then what I'll do is I'll just write down the goals. I'll just like copy the goals into a new note, and then I can see what I should write on my phone. And then I make sure that I actually write them down on my phone's keyboard. And that's much better than not writing it at all. Okay. So my point is, if you do it 80% of the time, the other 20% will take care of itself. You don't have to worry about that, but you actually have to do it. Like don't do it for 2 or 3 days. You want to make this a habit that you're going to do for the rest of your life because it's so, so powerful. If I had a graph or something, or even like a way to tell how many people are going to apply this, who are watching this right now and who are going to massively change their lives, it's like, it's almost like there's no better feeling in the world. You know what I mean? So I'm super excited for you to do that. And just remember how powerful it is. It actually takes, on average for human beings, there were various studies done on this, right? But it actually takes 67 days of doing something every single day to make it a habit that you're going to continue doing, and you're going to feel good about doing it, and you're going to want to do it every day. And then it takes about 1.5 years or 18 months. If you do something for 18 months, it's a long time, but it's not so long. If you do this habit of writing down your goals for 18 months, you're going to feel the need, like almost as if it's a necessity, to do it for the rest of your life. So, I put that 18 months in at the beginning of my journey, and now I literally have to write my goals for the rest of my life. It's something that I'm just going to keep doing forever. So that wraps up the goals and visualization routine. Next up is planning, and I call this planning tomorrow today. So basically what I do is I take this notebook, specifically this one. This is where I plan out my days. And at about 7 p.m., that's because I wake up early at like 4 or 5 a.m. Most days, I try to at least. So at about 7 p.m., I sit down and I plan the next day, and I plan tomorrow today. And how that looks, I'm actually going to show you a page from my notebook here. So it kind of looks like this, right? And I know that you can't really see it right now, but if you can kind of tell, I have like the time. So I'll just read some for you here. I know that my writing, I write this stuff really fast. I can write with incredible calligraphy, but I choose not to because for me speed is important. I'm a very, functional guy. But so I write down, for example, on this day it was 5:45 a.m. wake up, okay? 5:45 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. morning routine. So that involves eating breakfast and taking my supplements and things like that that I need to do. 6:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. write goals plus visualization routine, which I talked about takes me about 30 minutes. Then I wrote down 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. 1 minute and 15 seconds ice cold shower plus get ready. So on this day I wasn't actually going to the gym, which meant it was a rest day, which meant that I was just working the whole day, and I decided to take the cold shower right after the goals and visualization. That actually brings me to something else, part of like the health activities that I do. Cold showers, so beneficial. One thing that I started doing was just taking cold showers. I started off with 10 seconds on like the fullest, and you want to put it on like the most ice cold setting. So I started off with 10 seconds, and then I would do that, and I would play like amazing music, and I would literally be in the shower, and I would just like visualize my goals and dreams and everything, and I would just tell myself my affirmations, like literally like I am the greatest, like Muhammad Ali type thing. Muhammad Ali, there's a story about how his roommate, when they were living together, when Muhammad Ali was taking showers, his roommate would hear Muhammad Ali yelling, "I am the greatest." He would literally say, "I am the greatest" in the shower every single day. And guess what? Muhammad Ali became the greatest boxer of all time. So it works, right? Affirmations do work. Everything I'm saying does work. So so that was what I did. And then, 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. I wrote down plan daily nutrition, which is something else that I do. It brings us to the next category, which we're not going to get into yet. But I plan out my calories that I'm going to eat for that day. I'm on a very strict, it's not a diet. It's more about like I'm trying to gain strength and gain muscle. So I make sure that I'm eating enough. For me, it's really easy to undereat for myself just because I'm tall and my maintenance calories are pretty high. So if I just don't count my stuff, I'm not going to eat enough. Just because I never had a problem with junk food or anything like that. For others, they might have to watch that they don't overeat, right? Or because they're also eat chips and ice cream, So that is what my plan tomorrow today looks like. And one thing I'll warn you is that when you start doing this, you really have to try. And the first few days of doing this will be very painful because you'll find that the time estimates you put down for your tasks are going to be way off. Like you're going to write down, and this is what happened to me. I would write down like, oh yeah, it's going to take me an hour to film this YouTube video. And I wrote down an hour. I gave myself an hour, and it literally took me 3.5 hours. And obviously that screws up your entire day's plan, and it can get really discouraging. So I just want to let you know it's normal if that happens to you, and you are going to get really, really good at estimating time once you actually start doing this every single day. And for others, what might work better, because everyone's different. I also know that Richard Branson's method, who's the founder of Virgin Airlines, and Virgin Galactic and all those companies, Richard Branson, his plan tomorrow today, he doesn't even write the times. He just writes down the kind of like a task list. So like, number one, the first task he's going to do, like the first project, number 2, number 3, number 4, and then the goal is to get 80% of the things done, because we're humans, we're not going to get 100% of the things done. Things get in the way, things happen, appointments, you have to go get food, get groceries, just random things, right? So you have to be mindful of that, and just understand that no one is perfect, and anyone online who pretends to be that they pretend that they're a perfect human being and they're like robotic and they plan tomorrow today, they're just creating this fake illusion of themselves. Just so people almost worship their ego, and that's very unhealthy. I'm just being real with you that I was also, trying to figure out, like, am I just stupid? Why can't I stick to a daily schedule. And then I realized that, okay, no one is perfect. Don't be so hard on yourself. As long as you are trying and you're actually doing this, you're practicing this every single day. So that is planning tomorrow today. And what makes this much more effective is if you sit down and you don't really know what you should work on, you should also plan out a calendar. And the best calendar for that, it's called an at-a-glance calendar. At a glance, like AT and then A and then glance, right? So the whole point is that you can see the calendar and you can kind of fill in the boxes and fill in the tasks. And the reason why that's so powerful is because if you think about the tasks that you need to prioritize in the next month, let's say, and you plot them on the calendar, you plot your important meetings and things like that. Then when you sit down to plan tomorrow today at 7 o'clock or whichever time you choose, then all you have to do is just look at the calendar and you know exactly, okay, tomorrow I'm doing this, and then you can just plan it on your plan tomorrow today. And then all you have to do is in the morning when you wake up, you just open your notebook and you know exactly what your first task is. You don't have to waste 30 minutes or 45 minutes of thinking time trying to figure out, okay, what am I supposed to do? And then that ends up in you pacing around like a chicken with your head cut off, which used to happen to me. Something else that's super powerful is to, when you're planning your at-a-glance calendar, to write down a list of the major things you need to accomplish that month, for example, or the major projects, and write a priority score from 1 to 10 on the right side when you've written down all your tasks. And then arrange everything from highest priority to lowest priority, and then put the highest priority stuff first. That's what you want to do because, as I said, we're humans. You're not going to be able to accomplish everything that you planned out for that calendar month. It's just impossible. I mean, no one, as far as I know, is that perfect that they're able to, literally plan out everything perfectly, do everything. Believe me, it's hard to do this stuff. It really is. And it's so easy not to do it. I know that there's going to be people who watch this and they're going to be like, yeah, I'll do it. And they don't actually do it because they're lazy. And unfortunately, laziness is so common nowadays. But the price of not doing this stuff is massive, especially if you suck at time management. Like I suck at time management. You have to be honest with yourself. It's not my strength. My strength is communication, it's business, it's not time management, right? So, you have to be honest with yourself and perform these small things, do these small steps. The next category of daily practices that I do, this involves my fitness, health, gym, tracking macro supplementation. So as I said earlier, I wake up at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. every single morning, or most days, not every single morning. Sometimes I'll go out on a Friday night with friends, Saturday night with friends, and then I'm not going to wake up at 4 or 5 the next day. It's obvious. I want to get my sleep or else I'm going to feel like a zombie and I'm not going to be able to do anything. So as I said previously, first things first, because your brain has a finite amount of willpower and you want to get the hard stuff ticked off your to-do list first. You don't want to kind of misprioritize your stuff. So, you don't want to wake up in the morning, play video games for 5 hours, and then lie to yourself and tell yourself that you're going to go and work on some big project in the evening. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You're just going to play video games, and then you only have an hour left for the project, and the day's going to be over, right? So, like I said, we're humans. Nobody is perfect. One thing I want to talk about is that although I do mainly talk about money and business on my channel, well, I mainly talk about the good life. That's what the whole point of this course is. It's not just about how to make the most amount of money possible and how to make $1 million. No, I firmly believe, and I know this is truth. I absolutely know that this is truth. It's not enough to just make money and have wealth goals, or else you'll end up basically fat and unhealthy, and you won't be able to enjoy your success and wealth. So that's why it's so important to also have daily health routines that you're doing, whether that involves going to the gym, whether that involves, making sure that you're cooking your food or you're eating well, making sure you're tracking your calories if that's something that you need to do, or if you feel like you need to do that, right? One thing that happens to a lot of people who get rich and find success is, and this is very, very, very common, they find this new desire. I guess they had this desire before, but they realize that, okay, now I can actually, I have the money, I can go to any restaurant I want, I can eat wherever I want. This is amazing. And, for some people, food is it's for them, it's a very big part of their life. For me, food is more functional, I would say. I definitely enjoy, amazing Italian food, Greek food, and that kind of stuff. Who doesn't enjoy food? For other people, and if you're that kind of person, you have to watch out, they really love food. And so for them, if they get rich, if they make money, they just give in to their primal desires for food and just for gluttony. Basically, this is called gluttony in the Bible, Gluttony. And the Bible talks about this tremendously. Basically, a lot of people who get rich, you find that they think that they're rich, so they don't have to exercise and they don't have to stay healthy because they have the money. That's all that matters. When in fact, that's basically what's called succumbing to the Epicurean lifestyle. We talked about Stoicism versus Epicureanism, right? Stoics, they basically the opposite of YOLO. Stoics, they make sure that they're putting in the work, they're exercising, they're hard, they're not soft. They don't, they're always getting out of their comfort zone, and they're not found in restaurants just like ordering 10 desserts or ordering like chicken wings nonstop or burgers, right? There are people like that who have the money, but they just can't stop eating unhealthy food, and they don't exercise, and they think it's totally fine. And then they get a wake-up call, a very, very painful wake-up call one day when they're like 400 pounds and they can get off their couch and they have to get triple bypass heart surgery. So as you're becoming more and more successful, know thyself, know who you are, and make sure that you're not giving into Epicureanism. Make sure you're stoic. You stay hard about your success, and you stay disciplined, not just with money but with health as well. And there's a saying that encompasses this perfectly: the Epicurean lifestyle of just YOLO, like I'm just going to eat nonstop and enjoy and indulge, right? Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. Basically, we're going to die anyway, so let's eat and drink and be merry and enjoy. And that's not the right way to go about life, at least my opinion, right? So instead, what you should do is you should learn to live in the now, so enjoy the present moment, while simultaneously investing in the future, okay? So by having daily health routines, you are investing in the future, because, it's not super fun in the now, but in the future, you're going to get a large payoff because you will stay healthy. You'll be able to actually enjoy your wealth at 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, 80 years old, even 90. Right? You'll still be healthy, you'll be good. Just to share with you some of my daily health routines when it comes to that category. So I wake up and I actually weigh all my food with the weight scale. And I've been doing this for years, by the way. There were times when I didn't do it, and then I realized that either I wasn't hitting my goals in the gym, or I was just kind of getting out of shape and my body wasn't at its peak. So, I learned this early. I'm like, you have to be 110% with whatever you're going after, or else you're going to get 50% half-ass result if you're not 110%. So what I do is I use a weight scale. You can buy one on Amazon. I'll link the one that I use below if you're interested. And I weigh all my food. It's super fast, by the way. I use an app called MyFitnessPal, and I've calculated my macros, which is like how many fats, how many carbs, how much protein I should eat per day, and I stick to that. And there are 3 numbers for the proteins, the fats, and the carbs that I use for my workout days, where I'm actually lifting and going to the gym. And then there's a different set of numbers for my rest days, right? So I will be making a lot of content in the future on my channel about health, fitness, and getting into your peak shape and peak physique, becoming strong, becoming a strong man, also hormone optimization. Just for men, it's a big passion of mine as well. I think it will really help because for me, I really spent a lot of time researching this and practicing this in my own life. So that is one of my daily routines when it comes to health. And then, of course, the food, the cooking. Like a lot of people, they're like, why do you cook your food? You can just go and buy everything. You can just eat out. Well, obviously, they're not prioritizing their health because, if I was just to eat out, and I've done this before at certain times when I really had to focus on business, I really got out of shape really quick. I was basically just like knocking down Chipotle double chicken burritos every day with guac, with sour cream cheese and the whole thing. And, I was eating out every day, and I didn't realize, but when you eat out all the time, even if you're putting it in your MyFitnessPal, you're tracking your macros, like they use a bunch of oils, they use a bunch of things that are not so healthy for you. And it's not the same things you would be using if you actually cooked for yourself. So, either cook for yourself, or if you don't want to spend the time, once you have the money, I recommend hiring someone to do that for you. There are tons of people who are more than willing, for a reasonable amount of money to be your private chef. And when I actually go to the gym, I use an app called JeFit or JeFit. I'm not exactly sure how to say it, but in that app, it allows me to actually track my exercises and the weights that I'm lifting in the gym, because what you track improves and what you don't track just progresses basically. So those are just some of my daily routines when it comes to health. And as an entrepreneur, I could have easily said, I don't have time for health and fitness. I could just hire a personal trainer and kind of like have them teach me. But it's actually a huge passion in my life, and I think it's really important for everybody to learn how to be their most healthy selves. It's super important. Another thing I want to mention is that because I'm on my Freedom Lifeline, I'm actually able to put in the time to actually do all these things, cook my meals if I need to, if I don't have a chef at that time, if I don't have someone cooking my food for me or helping me with that. I have the time to eat multiple meals throughout the day, not like 9-to-5 workers. They only have a lunch once a day, and then they have 2 coffee breaks, right? Like 2 15-minute breaks and 1 30-minute break, or one hour break is the norm for the 9-to-5 world. So I remember when I was working a 9-to-5 job, I found it really hard for me to actually stick to my fitness goals because, it's almost as if they're trying to make you unhealthy. the system's trying to make you unhealthy because, I would come home from work after an 8-hour, 9-hour shift. I would just be exhausted. Then I would have to like pile food. I'd literally have to shovel food down my throat, down my mouth, to have enough energy to go to the gym. I would literally be like on a carb overload. I'd have like 200 grams of carbs just to have the energy to go to the gym. Then I'd get to the gym, I'd work out, and then I would just come home and just pass out, and in the morning wake up at 6 and repeat. So that's the classic 9-to-5 life. And I'm not surprised that most 9-to-5 workers die young and they're unhealthy, they're unhappy, they have like problems with their bones. So many 9-to-5 workers, especially desk job people, they have to spend enormous amounts of money on chiropractors and physical therapists because they're constantly sitting like this and they're just miserable, right? So another benefit of being on your Freedom Lifeline is that you'll actually have all that extra time because now you're living your life by design and you're your own boss. You'll have all that extra time to also be able to accomplish your other goals as well. So for me, like in my fitness, going to the gym, I can go in the morning or I can go in the evening or I can go in the middle of the day if I want to. And I have the time to count my calories and prepare my food and make sure that I'm getting in all my proper calories. And that brings us to the final category of my daily habits and routines or exercises, I guess. And that involves self-education. And as I've said, formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. Right? And by that, Jim Rohn, I think it was Jim Rohn who said that, he meant that university is cool, but it's going to make you a living. You'll get a salary, and that's it. But self-education, you can basically learn anything and you'll have entire control of your income and of your life. So for me, I also try to throw in an hour to 2 hours of reading every single day, or if I can't, in some moments, like right now when I'm recording this How to Make Your First Million course, I'm super busy. I'm making sure that I'm getting in all the work that I can do possibly every single day. So in those moments, I try to read on my off time at least 2 to 3 times a week. I try to get 1 to 2 hours in. When I'm on the plane, for example, when I'm, let's say I'm in the cab, I'm in a taxi, right? On these like off times, I'm always reading, or I always try to read because, it's shocking. I mean, if you got to the end of your life and you thought about, okay, all those times that I was just like, kind of like on my way to go somewhere and I couldn't really do work, but at the same time I was kind of stuck there. You could have used that time to read. And that time I think is the best time to actually learn new things and really improve your life drastically because you can either listen to an audiobook or you can actually read. I have an Amazon Kindle that I bring with me when I travel. I really love paper books. I think that when you're starting out, you should definitely read paper books because there's just something real about paper books. You know what I mean? It's really powerful to be able to write in the book. And once you buy a book, for example, off Amazon, it's yours. So you can write whatever you want in there. You can basically, destroy it, quote unquote, not destroy it, but you can just, write and underline things and write things down, write ideas that stick out to you. So I love paper books, but if I'm traveling, I've learned the hard way, packing a suitcase with like 20 or 30 books, if I'm about to go on a 2-week vacation to Fiji, that's not such a good idea because the books will just, when I'll get there, the books will just kind of, be very unorganized. They might be even ripped and I'll have to pay for overweight luggage. It's going to be really annoying. So that's why I recommend an Amazon Kindle for traveling. If you don't know what a Kindle is, it's not really popular here, for example, in Norway, in Europe yet. It's just like an ebook reader. I think it's like $100 or $120, and it's super convenient because you can just buy books directly from the Amazon Kindle store, and it goes right to your Kindle. So it's really, really amazing, and it's not the same screen as an iPhone or an iPad. Basically, it's like a paper simulated screen, so it doesn't strain your eyes as much as well. And you can actually read it before bed without having sleeping problems. So highly recommend the Amazon Kindle as well. I'll put a link down below, just like for all the other useful resources and books that I recommend here in this program. Reading books is one of the best things you can do. I think that the amount of people that I got reading books, at a young age I've probably gotten more people reading books than anyone else on YouTube, especially among the younger crowd, which is super, super inspiring. I think, even for myself, I feel proud of it because more people nowadays need to read books because then what that trains is critical thinking skills and also, most of all, the ability to think for yourself. So self-education on a daily basis, reading 1 to 2 hours per day, or if I'm really busy in a week, then at least 2 to 3 times a week. Reading books in the very beginning of your journey is better than anything else if you're not actively doing work to actually make your business come to life. I would say that, it's near the top of the activities that you can actually do to secure success for yourself. There's a quote, Only with sound guidance you should wage war, and victory lies in a multitude of counselors. This is also from the Bible, from Proverbs. I forgot the exact verse, but basically what it says, and it's amazing wisdom, whether it's religious or not. It says that basically you should only wage war, and right now what you're doing is you're embarking on your quest to success. You're almost like embarking. You're going to war, right? I mean, it's not like an actual war; it's a metaphorical war, but you should only wage war with a multitude of counselors, meaning a multitude of people that are counseling you. And the best way to get those counselors when you're starting out is books, biographies, self-help, things like that. One thing that I do when I read my books, and I've been doing this since the beginning, is I've been creating a note in my Evernote app on my phone with every single book. If I read a new book, I write the title of the book at the top, and then any idea that stands out to me, I write it down in that note. And as I said previously, I could probably sell my Evernote today for $1 million plus, because I have 400 books, my own notes of those books in my Evernote. And I mean, it's just incredibly valuable because I can pull up any book that I want. I can pull up the notes at any time, and I have all those ideas that stuck out to me that I probably forgot already at this moment if I just didn't write down those notes when I was reading the book. It will take you a little bit longer to actually read the book doing this, but that's not what you want to look at. It's quality over speed, right? It's retention of information over just reading the book and that's it. Wow, it changed my life, but I forgot everything next week and next month and next year. So that is also very important, to take notes. And for actually taking notes, I love Evernote because it's a cloud-based app, meaning that if I open up the notes on my iPad, it's there. On my phone, it's there. On my computer, it's there. So whatever I write on one of those devices, it actually transfers over seamlessly and instantly. So it's super, super useful. Well, that brings us to the end of this lesson on daily routines for success and how important it is to actually have daily routines for every single area of success, every single area of your life, for wealth, for health, for happiness, for self-education. Leave me a comment down below and tell me what you are going to start doing every single day. I hope that everyone's going to be doing the goals and visualization routine. You absolutely should. If you don't do that, you will not succeed. I guarantee it. So leave me a comment down below. Tell me, and make sure that you actually leave the comment, because whoever doesn't leave a comment, I guarantee you won't succeed. Because if you can't do the small stuff, you will not be able to bring the large stuff into your life. You'll not be able to manifest success. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're finding this program useful. Because I did release this program for free, I knew that people don't really, it's just like innate human psychology. People don't really appreciate free things as much as paid things, but I know how powerful this information is. And so that's why, if you're finding this course useful, just subscribe to the channel. That's more than enough, I guess, quote unquote payment or whatever. And it shows me that you really appreciate the program. Leave the video a like, leave that comment with the routines they're going to start doing, at least one routine. Also, I started doing a Freedom Weekly email, which is basically my Freedom email list. You can join it for free if you want to get a once a week email with all the most valuable life lessons, just like the life lessons from this course, kind of in that format, but in a condensed email version so that you just get it. And I send it out once per week. All the most valuable life lessons, all the best books that I've read, just anything that I think is going to be useful for you to improve your journey in success. So there's going to be a link down below. You can sign up for the Freedom email list for free. And then also, if you want to communicate with me, you can do so on my Facebook page. If you click on the link below, you can leave a like on my Dan Vas Facebook page. And then basically, I post daily wisdom on there as well, just the best ideas, the best quotes. And if you reply to any one of those, I'll be there replying to your comment. I find that it's an amazing way to connect with my audience and really see how many lives this information is changing. So you're making amazing progress. We're really getting far into this How to Make Your First Million course. I hope you're genuinely enjoying this, and there's lots more to come. I'll see you in tomorrow's lesson. Have a great day.